Here with Diana in the States and Nicole in Sinai and myself, Deborah in beautiful Devon in the UK. Welcome to Womb Oracle Weavers, and we are celebrating the full moon in Sagittarius, and really marking the end of this eclipse season with all these eclipses and showering and all this slight chaos with Mercury in retrograde. And it's the last full moon before the summer solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere and the winter solstice in the Southern Hemisphere. So welcome. Just to settle in, I'm going to lead us in a little grounding in, and then we're each gonna pass the womb oracle stick around. And I'm holding this, I chose this crystal. It's a obsidian, it's a snowflake obsidian. And it's about the kind of, the snowstorm and the chaos, but in the midst of the chaos, the stillness. So I'm just inviting us to hold that in our hearts, no matter where you are with all the balls that you're juggling and everything that's going on in the world, in your life right now. So just bringing yourself with a few beautiful deep breaths, breathing in, a beautiful breathe in, maybe shrugging your shoulders up. And then exhale, a cleansing breath out. Just stretch your body and just coming into this moment, feeling the solidity of your body. As you breathe, feeling the cool air in your nostrils, letting go of the day so far, the previous night, the week, the season, the year. Just allowing yourself to be here now, in this space held by this beautiful womb web of sisterhood and brotherhood around the globe. And then just inviting you to tune down into your hara, into your womb space, into your womb temple, into your pelvis and your yoni, and root down a beautiful red beam of light all the way down, spiraling down and down into the earth, past all the beautiful tree roots surrounding you, all the guardian trees that have meaning for you, and just anchoring yourself all the way down into Gaia's womb and wrapping that beautiful red beam of light, that red cord of light around Gaia's womb with her beautiful molten rock, lava, magma, liquid iron, and drawing up from Gaia's womb the beautiful medicine that you need right now, that earthy medicine to hold you still in amongst the chaos and the excitement of this full moon, and drawing up that beautiful red beam of light, anchoring you, rooting you, earthing you, feeling her support, foundations, and abundance, a never-ending supply, drawing that all the way up now, this beautiful beam of light back into your womb. Breathe it in, feel it. Divine. And then imagining a beautiful golden thread of light from the celestial womb, the top of the womb, all the way out through the spine, through the crown, up through the roof, the earth's atmosphere, beyond and beyond to an all-birthing mother womb. At the center of all creation, feel her every pulse. A new multiverse is created, tuning into the cosmic womb and calling on her magic, her flow, knowing that you hold a blueprint of the cosmic womb inside your womb. And then drawing that energy, that gift, that medicine all the way back down through this beautiful golden cord of light, through time and space, all the way back down through your crown, down your spine, and into your womb, into your hara. Feel it. Feeling yourself anchored and held in this beautiful trinity, the sacred trinity between your womb and the earth's womb, between your womb and the cosmic womb. Just breathing gently, bringing your awareness, your gratitude your desire into this moment, into this gathering. And welcoming beautiful Nicole here from Sinai and Tiana from the States, looking so serene there in her beautiful chair, and myself, Debs, in Devon in the UK. So I will offer the womb oracle stone to whichever sister would like to start.
I'll continue. Thank you. And I also want to send a thread, a golden thread, to connect with Karina, who could not be with us today, but is very much with us in spirit in this womb oracle weaver's circle. So the fullness of this super moon, Tuesday, June 14th here, I have a bit of a transmission coming through around this concept of dancing centered, aligned within our center, with the center of the earth, with the center of the sun and the universe. And this understanding, this metaphor that the moon gives us, and the fullness of her moon, the light that reflects to us from the radiance of the sun, is always the same face of the moon. Now, this can also be spoken about in terms of shadow and the dark side of the moon. But what I want to illuminate here is that soul essence, being ever present and grounded in our soul essence, so that no matter what swirling chaos, what tragedy befalls our communities or around the world, our brothers and sisters, or our personal lives, that we can still dance in the center of this wheel of life, the center being the illuminated radiance of our heart, of our soul fire, of the spark of life that inhabits and animates this body that we've chosen to manifest for whatever purpose. And lest we forget, just coming back to, this sense that the fullness of this moon and this super moon, this climactic moon before the celebratory energy of a pinnacle shift in the annual cycle, and radiate what is coming to fullness around you, within you, right? So in this moment, I feel this momentum, this movement of energy. Personally, I've just traveled about 12 hours in the last 2 days, and lots of movement and lots of fullness in the expansion into the heat of summer here, as we approach the solstice. And as I traveled down from north to the south, where on the full moon, it will be 100 degrees Fahrenheit here. So there is this turning up the flame, the heat, the volume, the abundance, the light of solar radiance of this. As I look out at nature and the trees, all the green just shining with the sun that is being absorbed. And I know I've said this before, but soaking up that radiance. And what comes to mind now is something a friend shared with me recently about this parallel with immersing oneself in the sun. So, in the fullness of this full moon, the fullness of the amount of sun being taken in and reflected back by this full moon, and how much we are able to reveal and show ourselves and reflect and refract light back into the world around us. How much of our, if we stay with that metaphor of being centered in our soul essence, how much of that are we bringing forth and radiating out into the world? So, an introspective question, perhaps a challenge for some at times, for all of us, it may be to inquire, what aspect am I holding back from bringing forth? What hidden gifts are still laying under stones that have not been turned over and revealed to ourselves? How much are we willing to unearth and resurrect? How much light are we willing to ignite within our bodies, our beings, to augment this radiance and bring out this fullness? And in what service is it for? For ourselves, for our own life, for our families, our friends, our communities, for the world, whatever realm of influence your soul has come here to dance in the center of. How much light are you radiating and illuminating? How brightly can you be a beacon for those who are remembering or have lost their way, to find themselves back to soul purpose, back to radiating, supporting life, regenerating life on this planet? We are here incarnate. We are here incarnate, not, I believe, I feel, not just for no reason, but for a very specific purpose. Each time I come, I work on something new. I learn something new. I practice something new. I share something. Whether it's to develop the skill or to celebrate and dance with life. But there's that the fullness of this brings an ecstatic experience of joy, of being, of belonging to part of this, as part of this nature. And in that itself, there is a fulfillment and this union with life, this co-creative celebration with life. And as I'm looking, the tree's arms are like, yes, their branches are up, and the leaves, the wind is singing a song with the leaves, and we are creating harmony together with this vibratory resonance. The light that is refracting off the trees, off the moon, it affects us. And what action does it stir within us? And what holds us back from that action? So what is being illuminated? What is wanting to just the first to the full ripeness of expansion within you? And I will leave you with that beautiful, ecstatic, juicy, yummy goodness, this fruitful, blooming to fruition So thank you. Thank you for letting me tune into that beautiful, expansive presence with soul essence, with ripening juiciness and the fullness of this super moon. Wherever you are in the world, bless you. Thank you. I pass the womb oracle weaving stick to the next who is ready to share.
Diana, thank you. Thank you for leaving us with this juicy, dripping honey of radiance. And I'm just gonna move right through it and just feeling like this full moon alignment with the center of the galaxy, the womb of our galaxy, and all the potentiality, all the weaving that is unfolding as we dance with nature. Today I had a beautiful experience once again in the water with the moonray, which is like the eel. In fact, I was wrong calling it eel, so it's another type, moonray. And the way she was swaying her body, and it was me and actually two other sisters, and I saw her, and she wasn't really big, and I stopped and I watched her, and I was communicating with her. And then as I witnessed her movement, I'm also witnessing the sunlight coming through and creating this also undulating movement in the water, or actually on the sand, with rainbow colors. And I continue my snorkel with those feelings and moving with the fish, and just feeling into how the nature was responding and how the waters was responding to my movement. And this is the message that I feel once again, the importance for the times that we are living, and for the continuation of the speeding in the intensity of light that it's being beamed upon our beloved planet and ourselves, and just allowing myself to drink from that and radiate, knowing that my radiance and my delightfulness to commune with nature, it weaves new threads in the fabric of life. So I want to stay with this feeling of dancing and moving and swaying. And I'm gonna have actually a video, because I was with a sister who were able to record me moving in the water, but also the moon ray. And this is what I'm feeling, like this fluidity, this ability to flow and to move and to shape shift, which is also a quality of the moon ray, and to adapt and to find the places, the shapes, despite what life brings upon. I am well equipped, and each one of us are well equipped, because within us there is this innate wisdom, this innate communication with nature, longing, pulsing, to be back online or to go deeper into this union. So I feel that this full moon, as it comes very close to the zenith of the sun here in the northern hemisphere, it's just really a big invitation to like quench our thirst and drench ourselves in this liquid gold, in this liquid light, in this plasmatic codes that are coming from the center of our galaxy, from the womb of the galaxy, but it's also rising from the womb of Mother Earth, and it's rising and resurrecting from our wombs as well. So there is a in this place I was snorkeling today, there's one area which actually a sister that was swimming today was snorkeling as well. She's like, oh, this is a very feminine area in this part of the coral. So in the back, you have the reef, the coral reef, and down you have this white sand, and you have these eels. Those are real eels, and they're small, skinny, they look like snakes. And they're kind of out of the sand, and some of them are doing some movement, some of them are just like doing like this, and they're like, it's a carpet of snakes or eel snakes. And and I just I wasn't able to decompress or equalize because of my piercing, actually, so I couldn't go all the way to the bottom, but I was right there. And because right before I was having this dance with the munbraid and having the dance with the fishes that were like moving underneath me, and as my body was moving, I felt like there was an exchange of information and honoring of presence and a communication. And then with this eel snake in this very beautiful area, I just felt, yes, this is the flow, that it's coming from the earth, this invitation to feel it in the body, all this radiance, this purity, this light of the soul, and to embody that. So I will close with this, embodying the radiance in the essence of our soul, and giving space to shine and to radiate, and navigating all the fears, all the insecurities, all the challenges and obstacles that may come forward as we continue to choose to radiate and to express our bliss essence, our true nature. So may we do so with grace and beauty. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicole. And I'm really I feel like I'm basking in this gorgeous sort of these rays of light from both of you, from what you've both just shared. Yeah, really, but giving ourselves permission to shine. I'm also I'm feeling to share. It was something that I'd shared with Nicole actually, maybe last week, and it's about like a weaving between the masculine and the feminine. This zenith of summer with the summer solstice. It's the full moon. It's around the time of ovulation in the cycle. It's the time of the mother energy, our inner mother. And, she's full of that Shakti energy, the confidence. She's not the maiden anymore. She's really flowing with life, and she's radiant, and she's unapologetically radiant. She's really stepping in. And the other day I was asked to do a session for someone she has people to stay where she lives, and there's these beautiful kind of beds that she has out on Dartmoor, and they're often kind of honeymoon couples. Anyway, it was this couple, but I didn't know who the session was for. I was just asked to do a session for someone. It was like a bodywork session. So I went, and I was feeling this kind of, radiant summer energy, and I dressed in quite kind of, feminine, I wouldn't say flirty, but they were just kind of like, they were bright colors, and I was feeling really kind of full of this kind of, just confident summer energy. And I arrived and realized it was a guy, it was a bloke that I was using this treatment for. And my kind of, my cleavage was slightly out there, and I was like, oh, and I felt myself suddenly armor up a bit and feel a little bit self-conscious and feel, yeah, a little bit like, oh, okay, I wasn't prepared for that. Anyway, as I understood it, his wife had booked this treatment for him. And what was amazing was I was doing an Indian head massage, and his head was sort of right by my womb with the height of this chair. And he kind of arrived, and he was quite, and naturally so, he didn't know me. He didn't know what the surprise was. He didn't have a clue what was happening. He'd just woken up and got out of his pajamas. you know, he was, yeah, everything was new and he didn't have a clue what was going on. And he was quite kind of like, you know, bravado with this sort of show, and, you know, his peacock feathers were out, but it was like, and it was his birthday. So I was kind of managing this energy, you know, energetically, and holding the space and creating the space for facilitating him to be able to drop into receive and relax. And I was also managing my energy and what had been my expectations and where my energy had been. Anyway, so I found myself sort of a bit like a sort of schoolmistress, sort of like, you know, he said, oh, I'd love to chat to you. And I was like, you know, sorry, I can't chat. I'm having a dialogue with your energy and I just need to focus. And part of me I could feel was sort of dismissing, you know, oh, he's a bloke, you know, and he's just going to be kind of, you know, he's not even going to get this, but fine, I'll just do the motions. And I found myself judging myself and judging that part of myself that was judging him and going, no, Debs, this is so wrong, you know, just, you know, be yourself and allow him to be himself, and let's just share the space together. So as I started to do the treatment, I could feel my armor, you know, my sort of like, oh, okay, this wasn't what I was expecting, starting to soften. And I could feel the real tension, you know, in his shoulders, you know, the real armor that he was holding starting to soften, starting to dissipate. And, you know, the treatment was like 30 minutes long, and I was doing some energy work and some sound healing. And then his wife came in with the host at the end, and they were going to have a whole gong bath sound session together as a couple. And she put petals on their pillows, and it was just, you know, beautiful, beautiful setup. And so I was just quietly packing my things away, and I wasn't watching them, but I saw them, and they exchanged this beautiful tender kiss, and he was thanking her for arranging this. And then she said, did you love it? And he said, yeah, I cried. And I was so kind of, you know, it was such a beautiful learning, you know, that I'd gone in there thinking, oh, you know, he's a guy, he's not gonna open, and he's needing to obviously be kind of, you know, with this armor on, because he doesn't know what's happening. But anyway, he did soften and he cried and he got it. And I just feel like, as you know, Nicole reflected back to me just last week, you know, he came into womb consciousness, you know, by being in the space with me, being near my womb. And yeah, my invitation is for us to remember or to allow our radiance to shine, you know, to not dim our light in order to accommodate someone else's, what we might project as being uncomfortable, you know, situation or feeling around us, to really radiate our light, to also keep the softness and the openness of that sort of mother energy, where, you know, she's able to take the wounded masculine, the healed masculine, the wounded child, the within, all of it, to actually embrace all of it. And, you know, she can hold, you know, the earth. And so it was a beautiful lesson in, and yeah, there was some beautiful medicine there for me. And if that resonates with anyone else, I just feel that was a story that I felt I wanted to share, that weaving between the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine that we hold within ourselves, and how we carry ourselves as women, and that we actually have a real responsibility as women to hold the masculine and to open the masculine and allow the masculine into our sacred feminine, into our womb space, into our, you know, resonance, into our holy grail, into our deep sacred feminine. So just blessings on this full moon, and all that we are holding, and you know, with this crystal that I chose to hold, all the chaos and the insecurity and the doubt and the vulnerability that we are holding and challenged by, and, you know, that the introspection and the questioning that we may have of ourselves, of our radiance, of you know, wanting to censor ourselves, just to give ourselves permission, be in our integrity, but give ourselves permission and open, and know that, you know, the right people, the right situations are going to be attracted and magnetized towards us, and we will touch them, we will touch their lives, we will touch them in those moments, and we just need to stay open and to stay tuned to our center and our radiance. Do you want to close, Nicole?